Testing 1 2. Okay, let's call today's meeting to order. We're ready to begin. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Calvo is absent. Ms. De La Vega,
Present.
Ms. Garcia Robes,
Present.
Ms. Perez,
Present.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Present.
Mr. Tunidor is absent. Mr. Zogby.
Present.
Madam Vice President, you have enough members to conduct business.
Okay, the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance led by me.
Lord, we pray for the city council and for the agenda set before them today. Please guide them in benefit of those who live and work in the city of Hialeah. Amen.
Please rise and please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please read the meeting guidelines.
All lobbyists must register with the city clerk. As a courtesy to others, please refrain from using cellular telephones or other similar electronic devices in the council chamber. A maximum of 3 speakers in favor and 3 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the council on any one item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. No signs or placards in support of or in opposition to an item or speaker shall be permitted within the council chamber. Any person, whether participating via the web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on matters of public concern or on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may address the city council on any item pertaining to city business during the comments and questions portion of the meeting. A member of the public is limited to 1 appearance before the city council, and the speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. The public can view public meetings on the city's YouTube page.
Okay, moving on to presentations. Before we go to item A, I believe there's one that the mayor has.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a certificate of merit that we're going to be presenting today to Ms. Elizabeth Palacios. But before we do that, I want to just say a brief word about a spirit of being able to overcome any obstacle. Drawing from her experience of overcoming dyslexia, ADHD, and ODD, as a daughter of an immigrant parents, including a disabled mother, it was extremely difficult for her to reach this diagnosis. She finally came to grips with her disability, and she realized that she learned best by helping others learn. And so Tutors Connect was born. She's the author of Empowering Communities, a comprehensive guide to tutoring connects, which can be bought on Amazon. So you're a publisher, a writer, fantastic. And she's also a student at Downtown Doral Charter. And it's great honor for me to be able to present to her this certificate of merit. And if I would like all of you to please join me down so that we could go ahead and make this presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone has had a great day, and thank you so much for everyone who has come out here and has always been there and always supported me. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much to the city of Hialeah. You guys were the first people to believe in me, and I know that definitely this project is going to go places. So thank you so much.
You're not running for anything, are you? Oh, okay.
Okay, moving on to item A.
Presentations by representatives of Markham accountants and advisors currently serving as the city's auditors.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Moises Ariza, and I'm an audit partner with the firm of Markham LLP, and we're serve as a CPA external auditing firm for the City of Hialeah. And I'm here today to present and summarize the results of the audit for the fiscal year ended September 30th, 2023, my apologies, which was released in June of 2024. So you had some time to digest it. If you recall, it was released on June 26th. And on that day, we released this document. It's the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report. Most importantly, not only does it provide, of course, the requirements of the GFOA program, the Government Finance Officers Association program, regarding what are the components of the ACFR, but it also includes our auditor's report, which in summary summarizes the results of our audit. In essence, our auditor's report makes reference to what we audited, which were the financial statements of the City of Hialeah as of September 30th, 2023. We do make mention the fact that although the document does include certain information regarding the City of Hialeah Employees Retirement System and the City of Hialeah Educational Academy, Inc., those two entities are audited by separate auditors. So we bring that to your attention that the information for those two organizations that are included within the document are audited, but they're audited by a separate CPA firm. Most importantly, in summary, an external audit firm provides an audit opinion and on the physical printed document that's printed page number 1. And in our opinion, the financial statements of the City of Hialeah represent fairly non-material respects the financial position of the city as of September 30th, 2023. In essence, in terms of what we performed, a financial external audit, that is a clean opinion. And that is also known as unmodified opinion. And that is the only opinion you want to be associated with. In terms of an external financial audit, that is the highest regard that one could receive. So just want to congratulate the City of Hialeah and the city's finance department for all their assistance. Within the document is over or nearly 200 pages. And I do want to advise that within the document, if you want to read a summary, it starts off with a section called the Management Discussion Analysis, and that starts on printed page 5. That takes you from printed page 5 to 27. And those 22 pages pretty much summarize the entire document. So my recommendation would be to read those 22 pages because it pretty much gives you a summary of the financial activity of the city for fiscal year 2023 as compared to 2022. And the nice thing about the section is that not only does it provide quantitative information of comparison and fluctuation of 2022 versus 2023, but it provides you the underlying justification or what are the drivers creating the financial activity being reported within the document. Separate and apart from that, on June 26th, we also released a communication letter. And that communication letter mentions if we had any difficulties with your staff throughout the audit process. As a friendly reminder, this is the first year that Markham has performed the financial audit for the City of Hialeah. You previously had a different audit firm. There was an RFP and we were awarded the contract, so this was the first year. And as you may be aware, when you transition audit firms, you bring this new set of eyes to look and comb through the documents, but also it requires a lot of time and effort from your city staff to bring us up to speed. So I want to thank all the individuals from city personnel that helped us make sure that the audit was completed on time, specifically Ruth Ruby, George Blanco, Maria Bernal, Rainier Diaz, and Ricardo Suarez. I'm sure I'm missing a couple folks, but these individuals were instrumental to helping us make sure that we get this audit done on time. This year, the City of Hialeah not only had new auditors, you had a financial audit, you had a federal single audit because of the amount of funds that were expended, and you also had a state single audit. So we performed 3 separate audits all at once while still transitioning to the new audit firm. And we did our part, but again, we want to thank all the city staff that were able to help us throughout the audit process. That pretty much summarizes our presentation. Our firm makes ourselves available. It's again, it's a document that's 200 pages. If any questions arise after digesting the document that was released in June, we make ourselves available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions for him? No? Well, thank you very much. Moving on to comments and questions. Do we have any online or any registered?
Registered speaker 1, Juan Santana.
Fifty-six oh one West 10th Avenue, Juan Santana. Good evening, Mayor, Council. I wanted to talk about, basically, there was a letter that we passed out to everybody regarding, the Citizens Declaration here. What's happening with, condo issues that I spoke upon the last meeting. Also, regarding just like how everything is being, we're being so gentrified that we're pushing out the people that elected everyone to be up there, except for you, of course. But I'm just saying, we're pushing those individuals out, and we really need to, Mayor, I ask you again to consider doing a study regarding, is this impacting the city in a positive way or a negative way? I try to always bring a balance, not to come and talk always negative things. But the more that I go out and I speak to the residents, and the more I get calls, and so we've been sending this letter all over the state of Florida. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not getting any responses locally. I think Rick Scott sent me a letter to my house asking to speak with you. I know you're very busy. You have a budget to maintain. I haven't really asked for a meeting or anything like that. But what I'm asking for is, we need to really see the impact that a lot of the councilmen over the years have voted for all these developments. And also my question is, out of all these developments, how many have been basically financed by HUD, right? For any type of, because this Live Local Act is it's just really out of hand, in my opinion. And this is not, believe it or not, this is not only happening in Hialeah, this is happening countywide, and it's already circulating in other places. And, but I just wanted to touch is that just consider even just to do a study. Did it in the past, you could do it again, and plus with all the influx of money we just recently had from the budget, there's money that you guys can invest to do the study to see, because it's being gentrified so bad that people are just like, I can't live here anymore. I'm out. People have been here 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Me, I got roots deep. So I'm not going nowhere right now. Unless my wife tells me we're leaving, I ain't going nowhere, But that's something I wanted to bring up. But regarding that, it's just Section 3 of the HUD, regarding to make sure that we have people coming here and working that are getting paid a fair wage. But that's about it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone?
I'm gonna leave copies here if you guys didn't get it. That way the clerk can pass it out. I know, Zogby, please don't throw it away. I have my signature on it. I know Millie put hers on there too, but my signature's on it. Please don't throw it away. Thank you.
Registered speaker number 2, Jose Ozzie.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Jose Alves, 788 Southeast Park Drive. I first want to congratulate Maria on her promotion, and well deserved. I know there was always confusion. I will come here and tell you most of our programs were eliminated, and I guess whatever you try to the confusion. But 2 months ago, you had a chance to go to the parks and see all the programs that were eliminated. Like we had sports in all the parks. Now we only had in the summer sport at Mylander. Like we went as far as closing parks, not having summer lunches available. And I know I talked about how we're privatizing, making priority to the companies, all the private companies that have taken over our parks and programs. And I use Bucket Den as an example, right? That we opened up Bucket Den for a private vendor and the kids in the neighborhood can't use the park. And you even had a city employee come here and deny it. So I'm asking you that, your eyes won't lie to you because now you go to the park and you see what's going on. Okay, this season is generally flag football. We used to have girls volleyball, cheerleading in all the parks. All that has eliminated. We only have cheerleading in one park. We don't have girls sports anymore. If you're a girl, you got to play in boys sport. Okay, flag football has always been like the most popular sport. That and basketball. We've always had tackle football before the mayor kicked out our Optimus program that was in Hialeah Middle School. But Optimus tackle football because of brain injuries, and we know about the brain, how it causes. Most people families don't want to do, and we don't have flag football in our city. We don't have parks, so I'm asking you, visit the parks, right? Your eyes won't lie to you, right? We can hear all the propaganda we want. We don't have programs in our parks, none, unless you got two criteria. If you're high income and you could drive your child to that park, then you can participate in the program that we've created. And we've allowed politics to mix in with parks and recreation, which taxpayers want programs in their neighborhoods. I'm paying taxes, Southeast Park, grew up there, ate summer lunches there. The people there want programs in their park. So I'm gonna 45 seconds. This is comments and questions. If you have any questions of me, if you have any comments of how we're gonna turn this around and go back to the taxpayers have the right to the program. Now these vendors, we have now 5 soccer leagues. We just added another soccer league. We don't have need for 5 soccer leagues in program. One's enough. All these non-residents in Hialeah, there's a place to go. So I'm gonna open up. Anybody has any comments or questions?
I know you've met with several. I know you've met with Willie from Parks, and they're working on stuff, and programs are being opened.
But
It's not the way that it was a few years ago when everything was closed and there was nothing for anybody to do. And there's gonna be adult programs also.
right, but now we have no local programs. Can I make a comment that you go look at the parks yourself so you see what's available, which is nothing, zero. Can you make that visit your local parks? Would that be okay? Mr. Rodriguez, you're big on parks. Can you visit the parks and see for your eyes?
Okay, thank you.
Is that a yes?
Through the chair. Pepper, I don't know what planet you're living in, because I live in the parks. Okay, why don't you come with me to the parks? I'm all the time there. So, number 2, I don't know what planet you're living in, but I've never seen the parks more full, more activated by people, all people. So if you're looking for a narrative, that's fine. Like the mayor says, this is your 3 minutes. I'm not gonna answer you.
I gave you a lot of facts. No flag football, no cheerleading, no girls sports. We eliminated it. We didn't open the parks in the summer. We didn't have lunches. Are you denying those facts, or are you also in La La Land? Like, this is called glass, when we telling something like Kamala Harris, the border is secure, the border is secure. We're doing this, so please visit every park. And You have a commitment from the rest of you, visit the parks and see if you agree with Mr. Rodriguez?
Okay, I think we've all visited the parks and your 3 minutes, I'm sorry, but they've been up for quite a while.
Okay,
We have other registered speakers, so.
no, I understand that, but hold it to like 100%. Mr. Rodriguez is part of this fallacy. No, thank you. I appreciate listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, who's the next person?
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson, Hialeah Firefighters Local 1102, to the Markham accounting firm that's still here, if they're here somewhere. Thank you so much. They're a great firm. I think they represent 70 cities from Key West and up through South Florida. And unfortunately, due to prior administrations, we have spent our time, instead of reading fire engineer magazines and fishing magazines, we actually have to research and learn about our own CAFRs. Thank you to the finance department that has absolutely upheld transparency for the first time in many years in this city. I'm here with a heavy heart. Mayor, you came by our burn on Friday. Miss Melinda, you did also. Burn is when we have all our rookies assemble. It's their final burn when they go into the building. You guys were kind enough to show up and you learned about an epidemic in the fire system, in the fire service rather. It's cancer. Most people know that I just went through almost a 2-year battle with cancer. We have several of our members out right now actively fighting cancer. Melinda and the mayor, you met our latest member. His name is Michael Benjamin, Lieutenant Michael Benjamin. He was hired April 4th of 2005, and I know because he was my rookie. He was on my truck on his first day, and I know he'll never forget it because we had a tropical storm come in, and he ran 28 calls, and this kid didn't get an ounce of sleep in his 24-hour tour. And in the morning, he looked up and said, "My God, what is wrong with this city? Is it always like this?" And I looked at him, I said, "No, it's just a slow day, man." And he, he laughed and he giggled, and it's, it hurts me. It's, seems like God only wants to take the good ones. We have a lot of our retirees fighting cancer. For those who don't know, in the South Florida area, between active firefighters and retired firefighters, 1 in 6 have cancer right now. I will profess to this council and the mayor that our incoming administration and fire is very supportive of this. And we are taking the steps, and we have taken the steps on our end with the support of the city council and mayor to make the changes to lessen the effects, to clean our gear, to have clean cabs, to do all the stuff we need to do. But here within the city, it's still plaguing us. I fought this prior administration for physicals. We got them soon after those physicals, as a lot of you witnessed. After that first physical we had, that's how we discovered the cancer in myself, which was eventually supposed to be a death sentence, and I'm still here. We need them. I believe we're signing a contract. This letter will come before the council for approval coming up very soon. You will see things in your next budget year for second sets of gear and more detailed physicals also coming up. When it comes before the council, I ask you always remember every single person who suffers from this disease every single day, not just the firefighters who are plagued with it, but everybody in society. Keep us in your prayers. Thank you.
Okay. We have another registered speaker, right?
Marie Rice.
Hello, Mayor, hello, Council. Marie Rice, 771 East 47th Street, Hialeah. I'm here for many things. I was here a year ago discussing parking over our sidewalks. Mayor, I specifically asked you, so what are you going to do? And your only comeback was, well, there's 3 or 4 families living in each home. And with that, that doesn't solve our problem. It is a law. And as for him with the parks, why are the children not going to the parks as they used to in the summers? No one can walk on a sidewalk. Children can't even learn how to ride a bicycle in this city any longer. And when you ask questions, we get blah, 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 blah. Nobody answers a question. You don't go to the parks. Go to Bright Park. Go see what's going on there. You might go to McDonald Park or somewhere like that, and where it's very active. But go to the other parks. Nobody can even go there because the kids can't even get there by foot. And I'm here about mainly the sidewalks. That's disgusting. What are you proposed, sir, to fix this problem and make your city a law enforcing city? And I'm asking a question.
We're gonna fine everybody.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna give everybody a fine.
Thank you.
Okay,
And
give me your address. Give
and-
me your address because I want to go to your house
Okay,
and I want you to walk with me so we
Okay.
can look at every single violation, okay?
and not just in my neighborhood. I want to go the whole, you
Let's
have,
do it. Let's do
Okay.
it.
I would love to, because
Let's
let
do
me
it.
tell you, you had me go talk to the police officer, the chief. And he talked to me, told me to talk to the person in charge of my area.
Mhm.
Well, my area has 4 police officers, 3 different shifts a day. That's 12 officers a day times 30 days is 360 officers on the street in an area, all through the city. We have plenty of enforcement, and they're not running calls all day. Don't tell me they are. We live in a city, yes, it's busy, but it's not that busy. And even if they citation one person every shift, every person, that's 360 citations in a month. And you don't tell me that in each section, they would get the message that they can't park. If they parallel park to the sidewalk, they can fit it. If they have to take their fences down and park in their front yard, they can do it. But you will not uphold the law in this city, just like all the campers in people's front yards. There is you've let this city go down. I don't know who is before you or what, but you have had at least a year that I know to enforce something. But this city can look like Miami Springs if anyone of you cared at all and didn't live in an upper area of Hialeah. We could look like Miami Lakes if you gave a damn. But nobody cares because let's not uphold the law. Everybody can move here and get away with everything. There's a house 2 doors from my house at 791. She has 4 apartments on the top, and I've reported it. You know what they did? They knocked on the door and said, "We hear you have apartments. Can we come in?" No, they turn around and walk away. Do they go and get a whatever it's called to go in and see? No, but she's made hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 30 years that you've allowed this house to be there.
Okay.
This city needs a cleanup. And it needs to start, and everybody should care that they want it to look like Miami Springs, or they want it to look
Thank
like
you.
Miami Lakes, and it can be.
Your
if
3
you
minutes are
only
up.
gave a care about the
And
city.
I can tell you, we all care about this city because we all live here. And I live on the east side of Hialeah. I don't even live in the upper side or, okay, I can walk on my street. Thank you. And the mayor has done a lot. He's done a lot to the city. Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone else? Go ahead. You can walk my street. There's nobody on the sidewalk on my street. Thank you.
Next registered speaker, Theo Caranzales.
Okay, thank you. My name, dear Mayor and City Council, my name is Theo Caranzales. First, I want to congratulate Council President Jesus Tundador for being named Politician of the Year by Miami New Times. That's a huge honor and it's well deserved. Our neighborhood loves him. Next, about 2 years ago, I asked the city of Miami Springs to allow seniors and veterans and disabled persons to swim for free at their pool, and they graciously said yes. When senior residents swim at Mylander at 5:30 a.m., we usually swim on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We pay a $2 fee, and I wanted to ask if the council would please consider waiving this fee on these 3 days for seniors and disabled residents. Last, a friend of mine, age 87, she fell last year crossing Hialeah Drive, and she suffered a serious head injury. She's still recovering. I suggested some ADA improvements at a City of Hialeah town hall meeting, and which, by the way, many of you were present, and I thank you. Afterward, Senator Rene Garcia appointed me to a District 13 seat on the county's Commission on Disability Issues. Many cities have such boards, but it appears that Hialeah does not. And the city's ADA transition plan on page 7, it states that an ADA compliance committee meets twice a year or more frequently. And however, my understanding is that such a committee has never met or even exists. So I would like to volunteer and help you create an ADA committee that could advise you on issues affecting people with physical and mental disabilities. And it would be an honor to help form such a group that would work with you to make our great city more accessible. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Anyone else?
That's it, ma'am.
Does someone have your
So,
information?
yes, we do,
Okay.
yes.
You have it, yes. Thank you. Okay, moving on to announcements of amendments, corrections to the agenda.
Administrative items 11A and 11B are postponed until the city council meeting of October 8th, 2024 at 5:30 PM.
Okay, moving on to board appointments.
Item 9A, proposed resolution appointing Michael Delgado to the Cultural Affairs Committee of the City of Hialeah for a 2-year term ending on September 23rd, 2026.
Do we have a motion? Motion. We have a motion by Councilmember De La Vega. We have a second by Councilmember Rodriguez. Please call vote. No, this is your appointment. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And I'll say, let's vote and then
Okay.
I'll say some words.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes,
Yes.
Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Through the chair. I just wanted to mention, because I know Mr. Michael Delgado is here. And I just wanted to say that, I know you're gonna bring a lot of valuable insight to this board. I'm excited to have you join that board. I've attended many events that you put together, and you're a very respectable person in the city. And I just think we're excited, and some of the events that you've put on, you always do it with dignity and professionalism, and I think we need that. So we're very excited to have you on board. So thank you, Michael, and congratulations.
Thank you. Moving on to item B.
Proposed resolution appointing Stephanie Perez to the Veterans Affairs Committee of the City of Hialeah for a 2-year term ending on September 23rd, 2026.
Motion. Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember De La Vega. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councilmember Rodriguez. Please call the roll.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Who are we appointing?
Miss Stephanie.
Stephanie Perez.
Stephanie Perez? Okay, yes. Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay.
And through the chair, I just wanted to mention something.
Go ahead.
Steph, do you wanna? So for those of you who don't know, Miss Stephanie Perez, she's also a very respected individual, not only in her professional career as an attorney, but also respectable in our community. Having your father and your uncles take the oath, I know you have that deep appreciation too for those who serve our country and serve our city. So I think you're going to be a great asset to the Veterans Board. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Moving on to consent agenda. Would anyone like to pull an item?
Motion. Second.
Wait 1 second. I would like to pull item
Oh.
Z.
Sorry.
Which one?
Item V. V as in Victor.
B.
V as in Victor. And we have a motion by Councilmember Rodriguez. Do we have a second? Zogby. Okay, we have a second by Councilmember Zogby. Please call the roll.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Ms. Perez? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Motion carries. The consent agenda has passed except item V.
Okay, item V.
Proposed resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Hialeah communicating its opposition to Amendment 4, a proposed Florida constitutional amendment concerning abortion, providing for transmittal and providing for an effective date.
Okay, I pulled this item just to make a quick comment and to ask for everyone's, so I wanted to thank the mayor first for being with me and for the co-sponsors, De La Vega and Monica Perez. So this really concerns me because as a mother, I don't like the idea of one of the things that it does is it eliminates parental consent. I don't like that at all. I mean, for my 16-year-old to get a piercing, I have to notarize a paper. I have to authorize it. For any of them to be able to be administered Tylenol in a hospital, I have to authorize that. And I mean, they're sick. This is something a little bit more, I mean, it's way worse. Anything can happen to a child under anesthesia. And it's to have an abortion without parental consent. The parent will be notified when? After? When are they going to notify it? There's no parental consent, and I really do not feel comfortable with that. And needless to say, that there will be no term limit. So, I mean, I don't agree with any of this. And also, if the parent has no consent, who's going to pay for it? We're going to end up paying for it. So I don't agree with it. I think it should be something that everyone should vote no on. And I would like to let the voters know that. They have to be really informed on what this does before they vote yes. Because it's with this, which is very bad and serious. What else are we going to lose consent to with our kids? It's not right. So
Thank you, if I may, through the chair.
you're recognized.
I think you made excellent points. Thank you for those. It's important that voters understand that local politicians need to address these bigger topic issues to bring light, to advocate, and to discuss it, to be on the news, to be able to inform voters, because the way it's written is very confusing and it's very dangerous. If this law were to pass, I agree, it's going to be an abortion with no regulations, and it's going to lead the state of Florida as one of the most pro states in the nation for abortions. So having no regulations, the no term limits, like you said, the no parental consent. Additionally, I think something that's very important is that there's no written in the amendment, there's nothing that says that it has to be with a medical provider. So in order to get this approved, it could be a clinic owner, it could be a nurse, it could be a counselor. It's written very broad.
The owner of a clinic.
So I agree. I think that as a parent, if they want to pass something that is tied to an abortion, I think they're cupping it with too many layers that I don't feel comfortable with as a parent, as a woman, as a mother. And I think it's important that we advocate for the future of our children. And it starts with having these conversations that are sometimes uncomfortable to be had. Through the chair.
You're recognized.
I just wanted to say, I mean, one of the things is that, you know, when we make voting decisions, especially on something as a topic as this, right? Things should be clear. We should truly understand what we're voting on. And I think the way that this was written, it's not clear, right? It's anything but clear. It's very vague. It's extreme, all right? And it's not really what it seems. So we just want to make sure that voters are educated before they vote. And for so many reasons, right? We want to vote no, right? The whole no doctors, right? They say healthcare provider. The definition of a healthcare provider can be a pharmacist, can be a massage therapist, can be a dentist. So there's just so many things that would incline us to vote, you know, absolutely no on this one.
You're recognized.
I just, I know this is a very personal item for a lot of folks and well, it should be. It's, I want to thank you all for your leadership on this issue and it's what you're elected to do, to lead on issues. And a lot of people in our community are a little maybe confused, don't understand it. There's still a right to an abortion here in the state of Florida. Every law that's usually contemplated has exceptions for rape, for incest, for endangerment of the mother, every single one of them. The amendment throws all that out the door. There are no restrictions, there are no more concerns, and I don't think that's where we should be. But nevertheless, one could always change a law. If the law in the state of Florida is 6 weeks, and I know that could be a point of debate and rightly so, but you could change the law. Once you amend the Constitution, trying to re-amend that Constitution becomes extremely difficult. Removing something that you've amended to the Constitution becomes extremely difficult. And that's where the danger is here, to enshrine this into our Constitution. And then everything you stated, removing the parents from the equation, you know, it's already hard enough. You know, this council early in the year also did Amendment 3 as opposition to Amendment 3. And we need to educate our residents what these things are. And if you're a parent, you should be concerned about your ability to direct your kids, guide your kids in the right way. And all these things do, at the end of the day, all they do is throw another obstacle. You know, marijuana, recreational marijuana, legal, you know, maybe that's fine for a lot of people. But if you got teenage kids, adolescent kids, and you're trying to guide them and steer them, if it's legal at 21, trust me, somebody will try to put it in front of them by the time they're 16 or 17, you know? And this outrageous notion that you could get a piercing, as you said, or a tattoo, or you can't get medicine at a hospital, you can't get any medical procedure done except abortion, sounds to me a little outrageous. So I appreciate your first of all, your leadership on this, your support for this issue, I think is critically important. And I do think you should use your platforms to speak to folks in our community and educate people in this community about how this language that is being proposed is very misleading, extremely misleading, to try to give folks the impression that we're going to allow something that's not already allowed in the state of Florida, and at the same time remove the parents completely from the consent equation is just outrageous. So I just want to put that on record. I think all three of you are being very courageous to get out in front on this issue. And make no mistake, at the end of the day, this could end up costing taxpayers dollars, because that example that you talked about, a child going to get an abortion, and then they just notify the parents, by the way, after it's done. What if that parent doesn't want to pay for it? What happens then? Who pays for it? The clinic, taxpayers, who does? And I think that, again, is not addressed in this very vaguely worded amendment. So thank you. Thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion by Councilmember Perez. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by De La Vega. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms.
I'm-
Garcia
I'm
Robles.
sorry. Yes. Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, moving on to administrative items.
Thank you.
Items 11A and 11B, as previously announced, are postponed until October 8th, 2024. So item 11C, first reading of proposed ordinance approving the closure and vacation of the public alley and the release and abandonment of the Eastman Reservation, traversing land running on the east side of the city of Hialeah from East 9th Avenue to East 10th Avenue between East 26th Street and East 27th Street in Hialeah, Florida, as depicted and legally described in Exhibit A, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item's on first reading. It's not open for public discussion. It's open for the dais. Anybody have any questions?
Motion otherwise, unless
I have a motion by Councilmember Zogby. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Perez. Please call the roll.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for October 8th, 2024.
Okay, item D.
First reading of proposed ordinance repealing and rescinding Hialeah ordinance number 2023-007, attached hereto as Exhibit A, adopted on January 24th, 2023, granting a special use permit and variance to allow the expansion of the neighborhood business district and to allow only residential units where mixed use is required, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is also on first reading, not open for public discussion. Anyone have any questions?
Motion notwithstanding.
Motion by Councilmember Zogby. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Councilmember Perez. Please call the roll.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for October 8th, 2024.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Any new business? Okay.
There's a report of a
Yes,
Scrivener's error.
Item A.
Yes, so on January 9th, 2024, the city council approved resolution number 2024-009 for $214,845.05. The agreement between the city and Citrus Health Network labeled Exhibit 1 to the resolution was approved with the incorrect amount of $214,845. The amount on the agreement is being amended to reflect the amount provided for in the resolution of $214,845.05.
Okay, we don't act on this.
No,
right? It's
no,
just-
ma'am,
okay.
it's just a report.
So Councilmember De La Vega, you're recognized.
Yeah, through the chair, just regarding new business, I just wanted to mention that over the weekend, we had the Special Olympics hosted here at City of Hialeah. My understanding is the first time, right, that it was hosted here. Congratulations. I mean, it was such an amazing event. I wanted to go volunteer and see everything, you know, firsthand. I think we had over 400 participants there. It was great. I will say the energy level between the athletes, the parents, the supporters, the volunteers was great, especially when they were walking through the tunnel. I'm not sure if you guys saw some of the videos, but just a huge congratulations. You know, that's such a big event, big accomplishment for our city. I spoke to some of the people from Special Olympics and they were so happy to be here. They've done it in other cities, but they said the welcome that they got in Hialeah was unmatched. I will say, I hope next year we host it again, but I would love to see like double the attendance there, right? I would love to see our residents there cheering on all these special athletes. It was just such a rewarding event. And I just wanted to also recognize there were so many volunteers from the city, right? From parks, from different departments that were there giving their time to make this event happen. And it was just extremely rewarding. And I just wanted to mention that.
Well, thank you for being there. And just as a reminder, on October 5th, the Mayor's Gala this year, all the proceeds will go to Special Olympics and support all those that are participating, all the athletes. And it is truly a great event. And I'm glad the city was able to participate and be supportive of it.
Yep, and Hialeah brought home several rewards. I know our football team, our flag football team got third, which was great. And some in our softball, I think got first, second. It was definitely
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. So congrats, guys.
Okay, thank you. You're free to go now. We're done with. Okay, land use. Okay.
Will all those persons who will be testifying on an item, please stand and raise your right hand?
Las personas que quisieran prestar sus opiniones delante de esta junta, por favor, pónganse de pie y alcen la mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. If so, say I do.
¿Usted jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y únicamente la verdad y que Dios sea su testigo? Por favor, diga que sí si la respuesta es afirmativa.
Let the record reflect that all have responded in the affirmative.
En el archivo público constará que todos han respondido afirmativamente.
Okay, moving on to item A.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance amending the future land use map from low-density residential to transit-oriented development district. Property located at 942 East 28th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one-family district, and legally described herein, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is on second reading, so it's open for the public. Do we have anyone?
Not online, ma'am?
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Any comments or the pleasure of the board?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
Montana 5601 West 10th Avenue. Are we building, we're changing the density in the area for, what are we building there? I wasn't here for the last one, so. Multifamily, is it?
That question's not directed to the council. You can direct it to the applicant or to planning, but I don't think.
Excuse me, Mr. Attorney, I have 3 minutes. I'm asking
Yeah.
questions.
Right.
Please don't interrupt.
Right.
Thank you.
yeah, it's
The council's not here giving evidence, sir.
I'm asking a question and you continue to interrupt my 3 minutes.
I'm not interrupting you. I'm just saying
This
that
is the second time I'm telling you. Thank you.
made the point.
All right, no problem. I'm asking because again, we need to, of course, they own the property. But the question is, again, we're changing the land use from single family home to multifamily. How many units are gonna be there? Because you already see that this area is being already overdeveloped. That way you guys know regarding other buildings that went up in that area, they're already changing hands. And developers that you guys took a picture over there by 25th Street, that person already left and left the partner there by themselves. So that's why I'm asking, how big is this? That's what I'm asking you guys, because again, I was not there the last meeting, but I will let the applicant speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Mm-mm.
Good evening, council members. Carlos Diaz with offices at 333 Southeast Second Avenue. This application is actually a project that was already approved by the council. We had an entire city block except for one lot. We've now acquired that lot and including it into the redevelopment of that project. So the project has already been approved. We're just including that lot and making the project slightly better.
Okay, so what's the pleasure of the board?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Rodriguez. Do I have a second? Wait, I'm sorry, I just have a question. Can you repeat that? So this lot is being added?
Correct. So we have, this is the TOD area, right? And the way it's ended up working out in this area is that a developer comes in, buys many of these lots. Sometimes you can't acquire all the lots at once. And there's always 1, 2, or 3 that come in later. So there's a project approved for the entire block except this lot. So it's kind of in the middle of the block. We have a map if you need to see it, but that wasn't included. And now we've been able to acquire that lot. So we redesigned the project to include that lot, and now we have more open space, less lot coverage, and the project kind of just works better because it includes the entire block. And no longer has this hole in it.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilmember Rodriguez. I'm waiting for a second. There's no problem. I'm sorry, I have another question. Of
course.
Sorry. It's 942 East 28th Street, right?
Yes,
It's,
that's correct.
it's,
Yeah.
okay. And so is it the houses to the right or to the left?
It's the entire block. At least I
What's
don't know
the
if you
whole-
have the map. We have submitted a presentation, but it's basically that block. All of the lots in it were already part of the project.
Okay,
And now we're including this one lot, which wasn't part of it. So it's everything around that block between East 9th Avenue and 10th Avenue and 27th and 28th Street.
okay. Okay, perfect. Thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome.
So we have a second? This one is. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. This one. It's in the back.
Everybody waiting for it. Yeah, waiting for your second.
I think it's on page 5. Page 5. It shows you it.
No, no worries. Listen, do you have the presentation that we had sent for this one? I think that would help. You can see it there clearly.
Do me a favor, why don't you put the presentation again like you
Yeah,
did
we'll
last
put
time?
that up. and-
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
You can just go to the next slide.
A pleasure of the council we're waiting for a possible second on 14A.
Yeah, so you can see here in green, actually what you see in white is the entire TOD area. All of those properties are already zoned TOD. For this one block, which is a single project, we had this lot that's in green that was missing. So we're just adding that to the development. So you can see everything around it is already TOD zone. And we can keep going, show you a rendering of the project if you'd like to see that as well. Next one, next slide. Yeah, these are all the TOD projects in the area, just so you have an idea and reference. This Metro Park, which is the one further, not further south, but just north of the trains, the Metro Rail tracks, that's already under construction, right? That project's almost completed. The Metro Park North has already been fully approved by the council, and that should be starting construction soon. And this will be the block just north of that, which again, that project has already been approved. We're only including the lot in green and making it part of our project. And if you go to the next slide, you can see the project before and after. This is the project, what it will look like. Go to the next one. This one. Just keep going. Next one. Yeah, here you can see this is the previous project. It didn't include the lot. And if you go to the next one, you can see this is our project now, including that. So you can see it's just, it's part of the parking garage, and it makes the project more efficient.
Second.
All right, we have a second
Yeah.
from De La Vega. Miss De La Vega, was that you? I'm sorry, I looked in that direction. I'm sorry, I didn't look, I just heard. Thank you. Councilman Perez, we have a second, right?
Yes.
Call the roll, please, Madam.
Mr.
Clerk.
Zogby,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robles is away, Ms. Perez, Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Item 14B, please.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance amending the future land use map from low-density residential to high-density residential. Property located at 533 East 22nd Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Sir, name and address for the record,
Yes,
thank you.
Alex Raniela, 533 East 22nd Street, Hialeah.
Go on.
So basically we're not changing, was a fourplex before, and we do a fourplex again. The place got burned.
Motion.
Second.
Why is this here? I'm sorry, I do have a second, I'm supposed to go. Why is this here then if they're not? Madam Zoning, please, thank you. Just give me a second. Yeah, no, I'll give you a chance if you want. That's okay. Go ahead. Yeah, please.
Claudia Hasman, Principal Planner, 501 Palm Avenue. This is one of the lots that it was developed in the before zoning was applicable. So that's why it was a quadruplex, but it didn't, the zoning regulations, we didn't have it in place. So that's why it needed to do a change in land
Okay.
use and zoning.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, it is on second reading. I know we do have a second motion. Go on, sir. Name and address.
Juan
for the
Santana,
record.
5601 West 10th Avenue. Since it's only a fourplex and it was a fourplex there before, I support this project. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So call the roll, please.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes is away, Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We're in item 15 in zoning. Madam Clerk?
15A, second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance rezoning property from R1, one family district to TOD, Transit Oriented Development District, property located at 942 East 28th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Item 15A is on second reading. Any public comment? that we
None
should know
online,
about?
sir?
Otherwise, do you have anything further to say, sir? Pleasure of the council. Otherwise, this is a duplicate. Pleasure of the council.
Motion.
We have a motion from Councilman Rodriguez and a second from Councilwoman Melinda De La Vega. Thank you. Call the roll.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you all very much.
Vice President, if I can, record your vote on item 14A, please,
Yes.
and 14B, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
15.
Okay, moving on to 15B.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a conditional use permit pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-181, to allow a K through second grade school with a maximum capacity of 15 students in conjunction with a 70 children daycare. Property located at 2150 West 76th Street, Unit 101, Hialeah zoned M1 Industrial District and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is open for second, it's open for public discussion. It's on second reading. Is there anyone registered to speak on this item?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Yeah, through the chair, I mean,
You're
I
right,
was gonna
thanks.
ask, because it's not a school right now, right?
It isn't, it is a school,
oh, it
yes.
is.
It's a daycare with K through first grade.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, I think the applicant is in the online version. Is Jacqueline.
I'm sorry, for the record, would you please just give your name and title? Thank you.
Claudia Hasman, Principal Planner.
Yeah, she's there. Jacqueline iPhone.
Jacqueline's iPhone, right?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi, yes, hello. It was difficult for me to unmute myself.
Okay, name and address for the record?
Yes, my name is Jacqueline Blanco. I'm representing the Steps for Learning, 2150 West, 76th Street, Unit 101, Hialeah.
Okay, so I have what exactly is it that if they're already a school, what are we asking for?
The city of Hialeah actually imposed certain regulations for daycares that they were expanding into a school. And one of the processes that they need to follow is to come in front of the planning and zoning and the council for what is called a conditional use permit. So that is what they're doing. They're coming through you so we can review the project and see if they have drop off, pickup, parking, the areas that they are required to run a school, also safety, fire, and they will have to go through a change of use with the building department. So there is several steps that they need to acquire because the regulations are different from daycares than to schools.
Okay, so we're asking for it to go from a daycare to a school.
They are asking, the applicant is requesting that and we review them such as schools. Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Pleasure of the board?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Zogby. Do I have a second? A second by Councilmember Perez. Please call the roll.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item C.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a special use permit pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-161, to allow a mural outside the Artist Live Work Overlay District geographic area where murals are only allowed in the Alwood District. In contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-1630.21, subsection E, property located at 1599 West 49th Street, Hialeah, Zone C2, Liberal Retail Commercial District, and legally described herein, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Can I get another one?
Okay, this item is also on second reading. It's open for public discussion.
I say motion.
Well, they're here. Does
I
anyone wanna?
I wanted to say that it's beautiful. Thank you, because I know we had a lot of comments and suggestions and you guys as artists, right, you know best, you didn't really have to, right? But I think I love the pink in there. I see the flamingo. So thank you, because I think that really represents our city. So I'm very happy to see these changes. And I'm not gonna lie, after the meeting 2 weeks ago, I drove right by there and I could picture it on the wall. So it was very nice.
Thank you so much. For the record, right, Christina Oliveira, address 1599 West 49th Street, Hialeah. We definitely heard all the feedback and we went back to Verizon, which Robert is here from Verizon today to be able to answer any questions that may have arisen. And they were very happy to be able to collaborate and make those adjustments, add the pinks, add the teals. And I'm happy that you guys see that we really worked on it.
Yes,
To make it come to life.
absolutely. It looks wonderful.
It does.
So Rob Moyer, 1599 West Hialeah, West 49th Street. So like, we were really excited that you were interested in partnering with us in this project and that you wanted to be involved in it. We're excited for future opportunities at the 100-year celebration of Hialeah, that you're gonna maybe do something in that area that we could be involved with. And we
Yep.
look forward to the future participation from the city. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if I may through the chair,
You're okay.
I love all the details, the pink, the aquas, the flamingos, the reference to like the entryway, the side of the fountain building. I think you did a really fantastic job. If only the dominoes would add up to 305, right? But everything came out beautiful.
We can make that.
Okay, just kidding. It came out beautiful. Came out beautiful. I love it. It's exciting. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna stop there to
Yes.
take some photos and, do news reports there. So it's gonna be a really hot spot. So thanks for doing that.
Well, we definitely want to get the city involved while we're working on the mural, make it more collaborative and stuff and get the community more involved. So we're definitely open to that as well.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
taking
you.
the time to listen to us. We appreciate it.
Do like a ribbon cutting for.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
ribbon
Keep us
cutting for the mural.
informed.
That would be
So
awesome.
we could go and do some, acknowledgements there.
Yeah, we would love
Be
to make
great.
that happen. Yeah.
How long does it take you to do this kind of work?
I think maybe like 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the weather.
Wow.
You guys know Miami weather is pretty
Yeah.
bipolar, but maybe a month, give or take.
Great. Well,
Awesome.
we look forward to seeing it done. Thank you.
Motion.
Yes.
Thank you.
Second?
So who motions?
Yeah.
She motions.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a motion by
I'm-
Councilmember De La
I
Vega.
motioned
Second.
first, yeah.
Oh, you
Okay,
motioned?
second or first, whatever.
Oh,
Motion.
Okay, motion by Zogby and second by De La Vega.
Ms. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. Zogby?
Yes.
Mr. Calvo?
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes?
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving on to item D.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance approving a final plat of Ludlum Plaza, accepting all dedication of avenues, streets, roads, or other public ways, together with all existing and future planting of trees, shrubbery, and fire hydrants. Property located at 8155 West 12th Avenue, Hialeah, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item's on second reading. It's open for public discussion.
Juan Santana, 5601 West 10th Avenue. Unfortunately, I wasn't there, so I need, what are they gonna do this, green space? The entrance, I call it the entrance way to Hialeah from the west side. So what are they planning on doing there? And, hopefully they're, I know that doesn't have, you gotta go in and do a U, so, just to make sure, that we're not actually trying to build nothing there, I don't understand why there hasn't been like a park built there or something to commemorate, naming after somebody, because, the space, it's a green space, and I just want to make sure they're not putting more concrete or, trying to build anything there. Again, I've seen kids play there. There's been historical protests there, and stuff like that. So just to kind of protect the space. Thank you.
Through the chair, if I may address the questions.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you can come and review the file. This is a replatting for a project that it was already approved. So this is a process that is during the site plan and building permit for it. So all the open space, the trees and everything, this is a project that is already approved. It will be a shopping center with residential components, and they will have everything already included in there.
It's a daycare.
Okay, I don't understand how you say that it's approved, that you're having to have a second, and that we have nothing else to say about it.
Ma'am,
and that
name and
no one's
address.
asking.
No, but name and address for the record, and then you can ask the question.
I'm sorry, Marie Rice, 771 East 47th Street.
Thank you.
So I'm just wondering how this all works, because I'm kind of new at this, that. Sure.
When this is the process that is called replat. This is the recordation of the subdivision of the land, okay? So this part of the city, okay, needs to be recorded. And the process, whenever you see the project, is called a site plan or a concurrency, or if they have to come in front of the council, you can see the project as the project before. Then is when you have comments, and you can always come to our planning and zoning department to ask questions about the projects that are going. But this is already on the works. This is a project that already took off. And this final plat doesn't have any objections, and it's ready to go.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Zogby. Do we have a second?
I just wanted to mention, this is next to HML, right? This is next to the school.
This used to be a daycare.
Yes,
The
there's
daycare-
nothing
the
there
daycare
right
is
now.
To the north, I
Yeah.
think it's right to this south of that property.
Because I know that the daycare is no longer there. They have the fence now. up,
Right,
so-
it's that, the construction
So I
fence.
believe this is part of that.
Yes.
And this is like a shopping center that could have different things like a coffee shop, have
It's a mixed
shops.
use. Yes, it's
Yeah.
a mixed use, so it has commercial in the ground level,
Right.
has parking and residential's above ground.
Second.
I did want to just say, I think that area would be great for restaurants and stuff like that. I think that area needs it.
I think you're gonna be very exciting to see, the applicant is, the owner, it's working with some nice restaurants to come to that area. Yes. Mhm.
Okay, we have a second by Councilmember Rodriguez. Please call roll.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
I think I'm gonna have to recuse myself because I believe that I live too close to this area to vote on it. I believe.
Actually, the law on that, I'm going to leave it to your sentiment as a council person, but the law on that is that unless you have a financial interest or would have a financial benefit directly or indirectly, your proximity to the place in and of itself, is not determinative.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
If I was unclear, tell me.
We need a,
The previous city attorney issued an opinion that if we live 500 feet from a property, we should abstain. So that's what we've been.
I was unaware of that opinion, so I'll respect that. You live within 500 feet?
I don't know.
Okay,
live
well,
near.
well,
I
let's
don't
just,
know if
you
it's
live
500
near, okay, so I was unaware of that. The general test under case law is if you have a financial interest
Yeah.
or would benefit, but that's fine. We'll respect and we'll go with that.
we do have a vote from you on first reading.
Yeah.
So are you abstaining or you're voting?
Yeah, I'm gonna vote no.
I'm sorry?
I'm voting no.
Voting no. Motion carries. The item is approved.
Through the chair, if I may, just as a point of information, many of the planning and zoning things that come before you, the use permits, variances, exceptions are discretionary. A plat under the case law, just, I'm just restating this because I think it should be said that if someone meets the plat regulations and they meet the plat statute, they're presumably entitled to the approval. It's considered ministerial, okay?
Okay, moving on to item E.
Second reading and public hearing of proposed ordinance granting a conditional use permit pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-181, to allow a K through third grade elementary school with a maximum capacity of 24 students in conjunction with a 24 children daycare. A variance permit to allow the expansion of a legal non-conforming use of an existing daycare, and a variance permit to allow 2 parking spaces where 5 are required, in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-189. Property located at 6861 West 14th Court, Hialeah, zoned C1 Restricted Retail Commercial District, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is also on second reading. It's open for public discussion.
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Perez. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Councilmember Rodriguez. Zogby,
Yes.
please call the roll.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Okay, moving on to item F.
First reading of proposed ordinance granting a variance permit to allow 238 parking spaces where 243 parking spaces are required, and 10.03% pervious area where 18% is the minimum pervious area required. In contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-189, subsection 3, and paragraph E of the City of Hialeah Landscape Manual dated December 13th, 2022, entitled Tree and Lawn Requirements by Zoning Classification. Property is located at 1900 West 60th Street, Hialeah Zone C2 Liberal Retail Commercial District, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is on first reading. It's not open for public discussion. Hi, sir, how are you? So do you have a presentation or something that you want?
No, just if anybody had any questions, I'm the architect.
Oh, okay.
Your name and address, please.
Mark Scavuzzo, 7600 West 20th Avenue, Hialeah.
So is this
Through the
inside,
chair.
sorry.
Through the chair. Yeah, you're recognized.
So is this is a parking lot?
Yeah, there's a
Right?
shopping center, an existing shopping center, and we're proposing an out parcel. So we had to, some of the percentage of the landscaping was reduced. So
Trying to think where this is. It's a shopping center. I see it
it's,
here.
it's between 49th Street and 122nd. It's in a small charrette that's right in the middle of both of them. It's a 2-story shopping center. And the developer is trying to beautify by
revitalizing the facade and adding the out parcel. That's the reason why we have the landscape shortage.
Okay. So we're just beautifying the current parking lot. Is that what it is?
Yes, the current
Okay.
parking lot is exactly.
Okay.
You're done?
Yep.
Okay, you're recognized, Councilmember Zogby.
Thank you. Zoning, just to be able to spare me having to look at all the backups. So what are they doing? They're just beautifying. I know the shopping center. It's a huge shopping plaza. Yeah. Mhm.
This is an existing shopping center
Yeah.
developed in 1982,
Mhm.
and they have a large parking lot.
Mhm.
And what they're doing is what they're creating a standalone new commercial area in the center.
Oh, there's an out
They're-
parcel, like you said, being built? Okay, go
Correct,
ahead.
being built, and also they're beautifying the elevations of the existing shopping center. So the design of it is all tying it up with the new out parcel. They're requesting a previous area reduction, and one of our conditions is basically that they do what it's called a landscaping recertification during the building permit process, so we can make sure that they have enough shade trees throughout the parking lot and throughout the parcel.
I'm a motion notwithstanding anybody else. Thank
We have a motion by Councilmember Zogby. Do we have a second?
I have a second to approve with those conditions, yes.
Okay, and second by Councilmember Paris. Please call the roll.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez. Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for October 8th, 2024.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item G.
First reading of proposed ordinance rezoning property from R1 one family district to R3 multiple family district, granting a conditional use permit to allow a K-1 grade school with a maximum capacity of 19 students, granting a variance permit to allow an interior west side setback of 4.97 feet, where 10 feet are required, a variance permit to allow an interior east side setback of 4 feet 6 inches, where 10 feet are required, a variance permit to allow a rear setback of 15.39 feet, where 20 feet are required, and a variance permit to allow 4 parking spaces, where 13 parking spaces are required, in contrast to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, sections 98-590, 98-591, and 98-2189, subsection 9, property located at 441 West 11th Street and 445 West 11th Street. Hialeah zoned R1 one family district and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item is on first reading. Hi,
Good afternoon. Cesar Mestre with offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida. We have a small presentation for you. I'm here today representing Little Angel Academy. The owners are here in the audience in case you have any questions later on. The properties are 441 and 445 West 11th Street. Next slide. These are the property appraisers website. As you can see, they're very, very thin lots. They're 50 feet wide. Part of what we're asking you for is for a variance. These properties are supposed to have 10 feet on one side, 10 feet on the other. And then the way they were built, they only had 4.97 feet and 4.6 feet. So that is part of the variance that we're asking for.
I know.
Next slide. This is to show you that all of the properties on the north side of West 11th Street are, have a land use of medium density residential. The next slide. Okay. My clients already own the corner property, which is zoned R32. They own 441, which is already zoned R3. And the one that we're asking to get rezoned is 445. As you can see on that block, you already have R3 on the left side, R3 to the right side. And then there's two R1s, but then after that, there's two more R3s. So we believe that the R3 would be definitely compatible with this neighborhood. The CUP, just so we can go over it a little bit. It's a process that Hialeah has required, I believe, since 2008. Whenever you wanted to open up a private school, you were supposed to come to the city and ask for this conditional use program. They review a bunch of different requirements, as Claudia told you, and then they make a recommendation to the board. What happened was, for whatever reason, that law really was never implemented. And folks that had daycares like this one, which opened back in the 80s, I believe, expanded and opened up private schools. They registered with the state, even though they're not required to have a license. They would register with the state would send them a letter saying, okay, you have your school. They thought they had complied with everything. In the last few years, everybody got notices and the city started asking everybody to come in and make sure they get their conditional use permit. So this is the last of it. I had quite a few of them. This is the last batch, this one and maybe two more that still need to go through that process. But it's, in this case, it was a daycare that expanded to have K through third grade back in 2006. But now they're here asking for their conditional use permit. In order for their school to be legal, you can't have a school in an R1 zoning. So this building's not going to change, but the zoning is going to change. And we're saying it's compatible with the rest of the block because the rest of the block is majority R3. The house that they bought was the one that's R1, was an abandoned home for several years. It was a crack house. It was a drug house. They have pictures. It was a real mess. They purchased it because it was next to the one that they had their school in. And now what they're going to do is use that as an accessory building. They're not going to put more students over there because of the parking situation, but they are going to use it as a library, a movie, doing gym, doing things like that. So that's cool. The one that's getting rezoned is going to be an accessory building for the school, which is right next door. They also own the property on the corner, which I will show you shortly. Let me digress a little bit. Let's go to slide number 8. Just to give you an idea of what the neighborhood is like. 11th Street is a dead end on the east side where the canal is. On the south side is the motel, which has 86 rooms. Next to that, there's apartments, which is 18 units. And then on the corner, which we see when we go past the Okeechobee, there's an automotive repair shop there. On the north side of 11th Street, on the corner, the two buildings, there's 46 units. These are the ones that are zoned R3 already. Then you see the little arrow, 445 and 441 are the two properties that we're here on today. 445 is the one where they're going to have the accessory building for the school. And then where you see where it says Little Angels, that is owned by the same folks, and that is a daycare. That is not a school. That is a daycare that already has everything it needs to have. Next to that, to the right, there's 13 units also zoned R3. Behind it is a church, and there's also 45 units to the west of that. What this block looks like, next slide.
If I may, really quick. So in between the daycare and the proposed new location, there's a single family home,
There's two single family homes.
just on that same lot? Because when I look at it on the map, it looks like only one.
No, the property lines are a little, I'll show you better now
Okay.
with the pictures. This is what the block looks like. This is the easternmost part next to the canal, the 2-story apartment building. Then you have the daycare that's owned by my clients on the left side. Then the next slide. The one on the right side is the two single family homes that still remain there. The one that's a little wider and the one that's thin, like the properties that they have. And then the picture on the left is actually the two properties that are owned by my clients, the school and the accessory building.
How many square feet is those thin buildings?
I'm sorry?
How many square feet
They
is those little
are,
thin?
I'll tell you right now. I know together
seem
they
to
are
find it.
7,000 square feet of land,
Right.
but each building, I believe, is about 1,000, 1,400 each.
Oh, really?
1,400 each.
Okay.
They're very small.
Okay.
So we are here with a recommendation of approval from staff. We also have a recommendation of approval from Planning and Zoning Board, and we respectfully ask for approval from you tonight. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Motion.
Second. I have a motion by Councilmember Sogby and a second by Councilmember Perez. Please call the roll.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for October 8th, 2024.
Okay. Moving on to item H.
First reading of proposed ordinance granting a conditional use permit pursuant to Hialeah Code of Ordinances, section 98-181, to allow a kindergarten class with a maximum capacity of 23 students in conjunction with a 73 children daycare. Property located at 1575 West 42nd Street, units 4203, 4205, 4231, and 4235, Hialeah Zone C2, Liberal Retail Commercial District, and legally described herein. Repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing penalties for violation hereof, providing for a severability clause, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this item's on first reading. It's not open for the public.
Cesar Mastrate offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida. My client is on Zoom. It's the little square that says Angela. If not, she'll be having a heart attack over there.
There she is.
Hola.
Buenas.
Okay, this is a daycare, again, same thing. They turned into a school for many years and now is trying to get its conditional use permit. It's a shopping center that's located at 1575 West 42nd Street, which is between 42nd Street and 42nd Place. We have a small presentation. It's My Happy House. Next slide. This is the overhead. This just shows you where it's at. The next slide, just to show you that the entire area is commercial, so the school is allowed in a commercial area. Next slide, showing you that the zoning is commercial, so it is allowed in a commercial area. The next slide show you that, next slide. It's kind of small, but you see the two black rectangles in the middle of the parking lot. That is spaces that the owner has designated for the school only. This school, it's very small because of the parking and everything. We're only asking for kindergarten class only, 23 students, and the daycare will continue to operate at 73 students. So only kindergarten, no other grades. And there will be a declaration of restrictions that will be signed, saying that that's the maximum amount of grades and students that we will have. So we have parking spaces that are assigned to us. That's going to be 13 spaces that'll be used only for the school. We have 3 staff members. We're supposed to have 18 spaces, but we have allocated 13, but obviously we are able to use any other spaces that the shopping center has. The next slide is just a breakdown of the classrooms and the interior of the school. Slide number 8, please. This is just a photograph. This one is a little weird because you have one locale and you have some stores in between, and then you have the other locale. They're running the daycare in one and they're running the school in the other, but they are in the same shopping center. And they will be using the assigned parking spaces. Again, we're coming before you with a recommendation of approval from staff with conditions which we have accepted, which are the limitations only kindergarten, only 23 students, and using the assigned parking spaces. And we also have a recommendation of approval from your Planning and Zoning Board, and we would respectfully request a vote of approval tonight, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Through the chair.
Through the chair.
You're recognized.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was just looking at the Google Maps here and I see like a banner here that says pre-K to fifth grade. So they were going up to fifth grade.
That may have been at one time, but they know that it's clear now. We can ask Angela that she's only going to be allowed to have kindergarten.
Okay, yeah, because this image is.
If you want to ask her, that's fine.
She's on?
Yeah, it's Angela.
Dígame.
Hola.
Hola.
Oh, que hay un cartel que tiene
One
enfrente el
second.
negocio.
Nombre y dirección para el récord, por favor.
Ángela Suárez, 10486 Southwest, 12 Manor, Pembroke Pines. Esa es la de mi casa. La del negocio, ¿está bien?
Sí, ya, una está bien. Gracias.
Una preguntita que simplemente tiene un cartel, por lo que vemos en la foto, que dice que dan hasta el 5º grado las clases.
Es que tengo otra escuelita que es hasta octavo y el cartel es viejo, no lo he podido cambiar.
Pero usted, o sea, sabe de que si se aprueba en el día de hoy, solamente se le va a dejar hasta el kindergarten. O sea,
Sí, yo tengo otra escuelita, eso no tengo problema con eso. Lo que pasa que no he cambiado el cartel, yo sé que lo tengo que cambiar.
And just so you're aware, the declaration does state that if they violate it, the conditional use permit will be taken away.
Sorry.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
I have a question, Mr. Mestre. There's two schools, right? I mean, it's the same school. Do the kids walk from one to the other, like on the outside?
The way I
or-
understand it is the daycare is in one locale. There may be instances when the kids' school lets out, and if they're not gonna stay here, they may walk over to the daycare. But again, we can ask Angela on that if you want.
Señora Ángela,
Dígame.
tengo una pregunta. Como las dos escuelas están separadas.
No, realmente, como hay un negocio en el medio, tengo dos licencias diferentes, pero la verdad es una sola escuelita. Eso ahí es una sola escuela. Yo tengo otra escuela en otro lugar, que es donde tengo el 5º grado, tengo primero, segundo en adelante. Por eso no me interesa. Aquí solamente tengo el kinder. Estas dos centros realmente funcionan como uno.
Ok. Sí, solamente tenía la curiosidad si los niños caminan de una locación a la otra.
En la parte de atrás, el patio, está todo cerrado y es hay un patio grande y por atrás se pueden comunicar, que está totalmente cerrado, no tienen acceso a la calle ni nada. Se pueden comunicar, no significa que
Ángela, es que tienen que traducir, porque para el récord tiene que estar en inglés.
Perdón.
Glad the point came up because really, but for the record, the public hearings are to be conducted in English. So you, council, need to translate for your client. And if you don't have a translator here, you need to translate for your client and translate any questions to her, please, if you
Okay,
would.
no problem.
Ok,
What
el
she-
señor Mestre va a traducir.
What she last said was that the children do go from one place to the other, but there's a closed off area in the back where they go. from one place.
Okay,
Kind of
thank
the Reader's Digest version.
Any other questions?
Yeah, through the chair. Cesar, I'm sorry if I missed. How long has the business been established there?
Tell you right now. Yeah, the shopping center was built in 1983.
Señora Ángela,
Dígame.
¿cuándo fue que usted abrió el negocio?
En el 2002,
That's late.
22 años llevo con el negocio.
32 years I'm with the business.
Gotcha. 22?
22 years, I'm sorry.
2002. Thank you.
Through the chair,
You're right.
Caesar, thank you. Caesar, there's no expansion. We're just trying to
No,
enter
I-
into
If
compliance.
anything, we're reducing the grades to.
I've been there as a police officer. I visited that years ago. Very well run.
Thank you.
Motion.
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 Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Zogby and a second by Councilmember Rodriguez. Please call the roll.
Ms. De La Vega,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia Robes.
Yes.
Ms. Perez.
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby. Mr.
Yes.
Calvo.
Yeah.
Motion carries. The item is approved. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for October 8th, 2024.
Thank you.
Okay,
Gra-
gracias. Moving on to final decisions.
Proposed resolution approving the final decision of the Planning and Zoning Board, decision number 2024-07, allowing a rear setback of 5 feet where 7.5 feet are required, and allowing an interior south side setback of 1.40 feet where 7.5 are required for an existing accessory building to be legalized. Property located at 3581 East 8th Lane, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, this is final decision, so what's the pleasure of the board? Can you
Madam
give us
Chair.
your- Yes.
If I may, the applicant is not here today, but this is a special case if you want to consider it. This is a property that received a code violation for work without a permit. We did inspect the property and we realized that everything is as stated in the plans. The owner of the property has a disabled child and used the property and that space for her child's exercise room and everything, so. But if it is okay, if you want to table for next meeting.
Second.
Okay. I have a motion by Councilmember Zogby and a second by Councilmember Rodriguez.
Ms. Garcia Robes,
Yes.
Ms. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Zogby,
Yes.
Mr. Calvo,
Yes.
Ms. De La Vega.
Yes.
Motion carries. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Okay, motion, well, meeting adjourned. It's the last item.